Welcome to The Peanut Patch, Big Blend Radio's foodie podcast featuring Donna George, owner of The Peanut Patch in Yuma, Arizona. All right, everyone. So we are going to Yuma, Arizona to talk candy because June is National Candy Month. You know, it is also a great time to get out on road tripping. You know, Memorial Day has passed, and that's that unofficial waiver of waving of the white flag saying it's time to go road tripping. Well, you know what? Yuma, Arizona gets warm, but the Peanut Patch still delivers candy to your doorstep no matter where you are in the country. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, it's also June 6th is National Drive-In Movie Day, and we all want to go to the snack bar, but here are some delicious treats that you may not want to miss out on, like peanut brittle, but you don't want to crunch too loud next to your partner in the drive-in movies, right? So welcome back, Donna. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to talk with you again, Lisa.
Well, isn't this true about the peanut brittle? You don't want to be too crunchy loud, right? If you're sitting in a movie.
Right.
But you have a solution for that where it's a little crunchy, but it's soft. It's not like, you know, caramel where it gets all stuck in your teeth, but it is light. It like crumbles in your mouth. It is delicious. Your new peanut brittle. You've got your old school peanut brittle, which we also really love, and you can get it, everyone. The peanut brittle is made at the Peanut Patch. So this is really homemade, amazing peanut brittle, but you have a whole new thing going on.
Yes, we do. We're freeze drying that peanut brittle. And for those who can't eat it because it's hard to bite or have teeth problems, the freeze dried basically it will almost melt in your mouth.
It is. It's delicious. I know you sent Nancy and I a test box of candy, peanut brittle. There's freeze-dried Skittles and sugar babies and all kinds of deliciousness. Everyone, you can see the picture in the episode notes or the actual podcast art. And it went on a journey around the country before it got to us, you know. So this was a good test. But I have to tell you, all the candy survived. It didn't melt. It didn't, disappear. The peanut brittle with these delicious big chunks that you could just bite into. And I have to tell you, I had a tooth issue right beforehand and it did not affect anything. And so I thought that was a good test. Glad. There was a little bit of peanut brittle dust because of the banging around, because you put in a little box that you wanted to see what happens. And let me tell you, the little peanut brittle dust is like this gorgeous, delicious topping for ice cream that you didn't know you wanted. And I'm just going to tell you, take the peanut brittle and just take a spoon and just go smack on it and put it in ice cream. And you've got yourself some delicious it's almost like a peanutty honeycomb in your ice cream. Use vanilla or chocolate or something just plain with it. And oh my, just saying, it's really good. It's really, really good. Mm-hmm. Yes. We're almost at ice cream month. I think that's July, so I'm getting ahead. But in Yuma, you're already hot, so you guys are eating ice cream right now, aren't you?
Yes, definitely.
Well, I encourage you to take your peanut brittle and smack it up a bit and put it in your ice cream.
I'm going to try that. I hadn't even thought of that yet, so that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. It's delicious. But this is really cool because I want to kind of go back and go to your peanut brittle so people understand the process, because this is homemade at the Peanut Patch. And when the Peanut Patch is open from October through the end of April, early May every year, because it does get warm. So things are limited during the summer season, but you can still order online. You can go to thepeanutpatch.com. But in the fall and winter months, you can often go on a tour when they're open. And so we talk about that in the later parts of the year and winter time. But I've seen it being made at the Peanut Patch, and it's incredible to see this, the biggest slab of peanut brittle you'll ever see. How big is that?
Oh, and you know what? I just met with somebody who runs a freeze drying company, and he said it was the best he'd ever had because he thought it had the TLC in it, the tender loving care, because it's made from scratch right at the store with a person standing there, no machinery involved. The person stands there and stirs it, whips it, and pours it out. So it's all got a lot of love in it.
I like that because we saw the love when we were there, and we've been on the tour quite a few times. And every time I'm on the tour, I learn something new. Like, hey, y'all, peanuts are not a nut.
Exactly.
Do you know someone said that to me? They said to me, "Are you allergic to nuts?" And I said, "Well, some tree nuts, but I'm fine." "Oh, well, this got peanuts in it." I looked at them. I'm like, "What? Have you not been listening to Donna?" Seriously, we still don't know that fact apparently in our country, that peanuts are a legume. you know?
Yes, they are.
They're bean. Well, they're good protein. We travel full time and, they're great snacks, but I will tell you the candy is good. The peanut brittle's really good because then you can say to yourself, you're getting protein, a little bit of sugar. Do the sugars go away when you freeze dry the peanut brittle into this whole new, form, delicious form?
Oh, no, they don't. But actually, you're getting less calories because the it's a little piece that blows up when you actually freeze dry it. So you are getting less calories. Even if you ate a whole tub, you're only getting like a third of the calories as if you ate a piece, like an 8-ounce piece of peanut brittle. About a third of that is in the jar when you freeze dry it. So you cut your calories.
I need to because I want to eat a lot
So do
more of it.
I.
That means, see, as far as I look at it, is like you say, I cut a third. So that means I can add a third more to what I'm going to eat. I know everybody else is going, yay, I'm cutting back. And I'm going, no, it just gives me this extra room to eat more. And don't look at
Okay.
me next time you meet me because I need to go jogging or something. It is National
Go to the
Outdoors
gym.
Month. So all I can say is, here's the thing, you can go hiking and put this in your backpack. And the way that you delivered it too, like the Skittles and everything, it's so light as a feather. And you can put it
Right.
in your backpack, like here's your little snack, and you're not going to feel any weight in your backpack.
No, sometimes when you're hiking, you need that energy burst. So a little sugar gives you that. So that would be a good thing to carry when you're hiking. I know when I hiked the Grand Canyon many years ago, our stove blew up and we ran out of food. But we had a candy bar and I didn't think I was going to make it out of the canyon. And I ate the candy bar and I all of a sudden had a burst of energy. So I know that sugar does do that, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing things like hiking. So
Yeah,
that would be a
and
great thing.
if you're doing mountains and altitudes, you can go towards the hypoglycemia level, and the first thing they do is want to give you chocolate or sugar, or because especially it goes on our age too, right? Is when we're losing salts, we're also losing sugars when we sweat. And that's
Yes.
what people
Yes.
forget. And I've had a whole conversation with some medical people about this, about losing salt and sugars. So water helps with that, but the more water you drink, that is also flushing those salts and sugars out too, which is what we want them to do. So we're clean, but we need to put it back in. And so when we're out in the summer heat, we're sweating, we're losing salts, we're losing sugars. And in fact, we have recipes even for this on our site where you make salads and people we used to do this in South Africa, and where you have like fruit and you also include things like ham inside the fruit salad because you need the salt with the sugar to get your
Right.
vitals back. And we used to
Yep.
do that a lot.
Your electrolytes and everything.
Yeah, so that's an important thing. So I think hey, and if it comes like it's peanut brittle that you can just eat and really you don't need your teeth. It's like peanut brittle without, needing your teeth. You don't need your teeth, but it's true. The Skittles, oh my. It's like the
Yeah.
flavors, like almost, does the flavor intensifies? Because that's what I felt. Like, it's like, woo,
I
it's a
think
little,
it does. I do believe it does. So it doesn't, I believe it does intensify it. And, it's fun. It's actually fun.
it is fun because we didn't know what we were getting. It was just like the surprise package of let's taste it because it looked like it was, however, it wasn't chocolate in the center. So, duh, Lisa. But I was just like, let's put this and let's try this. And there were little caramel goodies and that was just, yeah, this is good. So I know it's in the process to being on your website, but if everyone, you go to thepeanutpatch.com, you can, contact Donna through the email form there and say, I'm going to try. And you can connect with her there and until it's completely up on the site because it's a whole process. But she sent it to us and we got it. And though the delivery, we were in a hurricane recovery zone, so things were a little different from our location at the time. So I just want to put that out there. But it came through. I'm so glad it actually got bounced around because I think
Yeah.
that gave a good test to
test.
see how does it stand up. We had heat, we had cold, we had rain. There were tornadoes going through areas. I mean, so things do get delayed. So I thought, wow, this went through all the weather tests, and when we got it, we're
Right.
like, open that up, let's taste it. And it's delicious. But I want to say, if you put it with ice cream, oh, yes. So this can last a long time then.
Yes. Its shelf life is over a year on most all of it. Some of it up to 25 years is what they're promoting,
So
when you do foods and stuff like regular foods. And we're hoping to get into that. It's, we're looking down the line, but, we started with candy because it's the thing we have a lot of, and it's wonderful.
Well, I think there's so many. So I know so many of my outdoor friends, and like I said, it's Outdoors Month. They eat freeze dried like vegetable stuff. There's freeze dried peanut butter. I mean, there's so many people that look. We don't want to waste food, right? So
No, and
that's a
and you know
way.
what? You were mentioning ice cream. Do you know that you can freeze dry ice cream and carry it with you?
I'm gonna have to do extra hiking just now. What are you doing to
I
me?
know.
This is the craziest podcast. Every time we talk, I'm like, I end up with cravings for things I didn't know I was going to want to crave. But scream, if you can, yeah, so we can freeze dry that. So this is the beginning of the journey, candy. And then from there,
Yeah.
I can see peanut butter even being freeze dried. I wonder what that would look like and taste like.
I'm not
Play.
sure, but they're doing a powdered peanut butter. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
and I'm wondering if that's how they're getting it. Is they're freeze drying it and it turns into a powder.
But this
But
is
we
like,
want to do some fruit,
yes.
and of course, because we're closed for the summer, it gives us a lot of time to do some experimenting and adding to our list of goods.
Isn't this fun? Like, did you think, you started, I mean, you took over the Peanut Patch in 97, right? I'm just going back into
Yep.
your history here. The same time we started our publication in this country, Big Blend, we were The Blend at the time, then Southwest Blend, then we met Donna, and we've been friends for like, yeah,
All these
a
years.
long,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're not gonna give away our age. Yeah, a
Listen,
long
we're
time.
still
We'll just
young
say a
and
long
beautiful. That's it. Okay.
time.
But we eat a lot more candy than anyone will ever know. And Medjool dates and peanut butter is like a staple for us. So, and dogs love peanut butter.
Okay. And
Um,
and you know what? I can ship peanut butter across the country, and it holds up very well as well. And we also grind that right on site. So I'm glad you brought that up
really in the
because
summer
that's a staple. Yes, it's a
round?
staple for people year round.
Well, you know what? Because you have no additives in it. There is a huge difference between
Correct.
your peanut butter and store-bought peanut butter. And then how many of us are going to go, okay, I'm going to go buy a bunch of peanuts, and it's so hard to find peanuts that haven't been, like, you can't just go get raw peanuts anywhere. I mean, I suppose you could go to a
Yeah.
pet store, I don't know, to get, you know what I mean?
I don't know that you can even find them there sometimes.
And you don't
But
want
yeah,
like that kind of you want human grade, right? I'm just saying. Like
okay.
I was just thinking about it. Like how do we get peanuts that aren't just sitting there open because they
Well,
have to be cared
and
for.
exactly. And you don't know the shelf life of where this has come from when you're buying it in the grocery store, the big chains. Whereas when you're getting it from the peanut patch, we ground it the day we shipped it. So
Really?
fresh
Oh.
ground.
Now, are you able to ship Medjool dates in the summer?
Yes, we are.
I
So
know
that's
we went
another
I
sweet thing you could have.
Yeah, and when you now I want to see I want to see Medjool dates freeze dried because they are amazing frozen as a summer treat. I know I've talked about this on literally every show, but it is Medjool dates are if you want a sweet treat, like we're talking candy because it is candy month and it's fun to talk about candy. And Peanut Patch's regular brittle can be shipped to you during the summer, and their jalapeno brittle. Oh, who doesn't want some sweet peanut jalapeno brittle? Come on now, some sweet and spice. That's some good stuff right there. But when you look at Medjool dates, and you don't want like sugar. This is natural sugar, and
No,
if you freeze them,
natural.
that is so good.
I'll have to, you just gave me a whole new idea of freeze dried dates. I'll have to see
I
how that.
wonder. I know. I want to go play with the machine. I want to go play
Yeah.
experiment with you.
We went to the company of Harvest Right in Salt Lake City, and you can't believe they had commercial machines that are actually affordable. You don't spend $1 million because it's portable, it's on wheels, and it was just amazing to see all this equipment. And this is something that we're training our grandson. He's actually the one doing it, and so it's going to give him a whole new business inside of the Peanut Patch to run.
Wow.
And he was amazed. And, it's not often you get to meet the founder and the CEO of the company and sit down and talk to him. So it was a great thing.
And isn't it
And
cool
we
to
have
keep it in the
freeze-dried candy
family?
on the way.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
you ain't got to eat your candy. So you know how Nancy and I travel now, right? Well, because when we're on the road, it's like, You're on the road, you have the best excuse to be bad. And, the Medjool dates are good because you can replace, you can be good. Like that's nature's candy. Let's put it that way,
Correct.
right?
It is.
And
You're exactly right. And they're grown
yeah,
right here in our area. So again, freshness counts.
I agree. And the beauty is you can store them in the freezer, And for
And
peanut
you know
butter,
what, Lisa,
uh, go ahead.
they can be frozen, thawed, and refrozen. It's one of the very few foods that you don't ruin it by thawing it, and then you can refreeze it without it causing any damage to the fruit at
That's
all.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it probably just gets more sugar content, like, pumps up even more,
Well,
you
it
know.
actually keeps it from, because there is a high sugar content, it keeps it from inverting if you freeze it,
You know what I think
because
someone
they'll
needs to
turn
do?
white
Yeah, they
like
do, but
that.
that's actually the sugar. And people wonder about the whiteness.
It is.
That's such a good point. The whiteness on Medjool dates is not a mold or anything. This is a normal
No,
process.
it's just the normal process of the date.
People should know that. Now, don't you think someone needs, and it's probably done, and I'm just really ignorant on this, but I just kind of thought we make wine from grapes. I wonder if there's a date liqueur or something. I bet you there is in the Middle East.
I
Well,
bet
maybe
there
not,
is. Yeah.
because it's mostly a Muslim culture, so maybe not. But I'm thinking someone
I
should do
bet
it if it's
somebody has
not there.
tried it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet someone has tried it.
Well, I'm just saying, since you got freeze-dried things going on, you've got this whole inventor thing going on. Like you got, the wild science going on at the peanut patch. Maybe we should be sending you some copper distillery things too. I kind of feel like you have a whole other warehouse thing going. It's like, hey,
Yes.
it's Willy Wonka, but at the peanut patch, It's like, hey, why not try this? Why not? But isn't that cool? And that you're keeping it in the family? And to see your
Oh, yes.
grandson
We're so
get in
excited.
like the entrepreneurial spirit and the creative side. Because I always talk to people about
And,
creativity and I say like,
oh,
if
yeah.
you're going to do business, you have to be creative. You can't just nothing is black and
Yeah,
white in business, right? Ever.
exactly.
Yeah, but it's cool to see him do it, huh?
It is.
And
It is. It's, he's just blossoming, and he's going to school as well. So he's getting a business degree so that he'll know how to run the business correctly. And he gets that it's a nostalgic type business. It has to be done the old fashioned way, like our peanut brittle. If you did it in, mass quantities on a water table and all of that, it would not be the same. It would not taste the same because you take out the TLC.
well, and we're craving, we're craving reality. Let's put it that way. As everything gets mass produced and AI generated, we want some normalcy back in, and nostalgia is, so I think that's what's very interesting about today. We're kind of in this extreme zone, and places like, number one, going to the peanut patch, that is nostalgia. So when, this is when we talk about road tripping. In the summer, people are doing road trips will, order from the peanut patch online and get some good nosh, right? Even if you're driving through
Yep,
Yuma, at least you can have it, right? But
exactly.
road tripping is year round in this country. We're that big that we can road trip year round, not just the summer. And, Yuma definitely needs to be on your radar for road tripping in the fall and winter. We drive it in the summer, and we personally like it because they have the Colorado River. They have all kinds of rivers and lakes, like areas in the desert that you wouldn't think, but it's there. The Yuma River Crossing here, Yuma Crossing River, Yuma National
The Yuma
Crossing
River
National.
crossing,
Yeah, it's a river crossing. This is
and
where,
then they
go
just
ahead.
they just did some improvement too to the heritage area. They've been working on that whole project for about 10 years, I think, and it's just getting better and better and better. A lot of bike trails and hiking trails along it.
There's so much to experience in Yuma, and I encourage people to go in the fall and winter. And when you do, go to the Peanut Patch because it's part of that nostalgia we're talking about. It's a country store. People actually greet you when you go in. You can have ice cream samples and fudge samples. You can go on a tour and get gifts that are all Arizona based. So it's really awesome. So I encourage everyone to do that for your fall and winter road trips when the Peanut Patch is open. But in the meantime, everyone can shop online, right, Donna?
That's correct.
Get your sugar on. Nature's Candy, which are the Medjool dates, and then the Naughty Candy. So freeze-dried candy, that is in the process. And again, go to the website email contact form on thepeanutpatch.com. But while you're there, and you're freeze-drying taffy. That's the other thing we want people to know, because we can't leave that out.
Right. And the number one thing that we're finding that people like are nerd clusters. Call them porcupines.
I like that. And everyone, because taffy, a lot of people don't get to eat it because of, teeth things, Yeah. And so this is fantastic that you can do that. And then again, everyone, the peanut brittle, the regular peanut brittle is also available year round, as is the jalapeno peanut. I've not tried the jalapeno yet. Can you believe that? I know.
I can't.
Well,
guess I'm going to have to mail you another package.
Chase us across the country. Maybe we'll just come see you soon. I think we'll do that. That's what we're going to do.
All right.
But everyone, please go to thepeanutpatch.com. We'll be back next month, July, and I'm sure we'll talk about something with ice cream. But in the meantime, order that peanut brittle, freeze-dried, and then, even the regular peanut brittle, and get that hammer out, whack it. If anyone's bugging you, you can just kind of take your frustrations out on the peanut brittle, put it in the ice cream. I'm telling you, it's a whole other deliciousness. So thank you so much, Donna, and happy summer. This is the month when summer comes, even though you have it already.
Exactly. Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on the Peanut Patch on Big Blend Radio. You can visit the store between October and April in Yuma, Arizona, or shop online at thepeanutpatch.com. And keep up with new episodes that air every first Friday at 12 p.m. Arizona time at bigblendradio.com.